Good morning, how are you? Let's spend some time. 11 August. We're at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Let me remove this thing. We're at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. That is where the biggest problem is in the country. At least as far as economic management is concerned. The problem is with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Who are these people at the Reserve Bank? I'm looking here at the executive management. Dr. John P. Mankochka is the governor. Then we've got two deputy governors. One of them is Jessamine T. Chipitka, the other one is Dr. Innocent Mashate, deputy governor. Then we've got the director of finance called Mrs. Tsitsi Hungwe. I'm giving you these names because Zimbabweans, these are the names of the people that are keeping you oppressed. Okay. These are the people that have broken our financial system rules and caused massive suffering in the country whilst wearing suits and ties, flaunting PhDs in economics and whatnot, only for the purposes of stealing from the people and hiding behind Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. Everyone's gonna say it's ED, it's ZANU-PF. It's these people. The Director of Economic Research and Policies, someone called Dr. Nebson Mupunga. The Director of Financial Markets, someone called Mr. Azwinanda Saburi. Then there's the Director of Exchange Control, Mr. Farai Masendo. Then another oppressor, Zimbabwean elite, massive oppressor, Bank Secretary and Director, General Counsel. The name is Mrs. Virginia Setole. Mfazi wesindebele futhi on top of that. Oh my Jesus. Another one, Director of Bank Supervision, Mr. Philip T. Madamombe. Then the 10th one is the Director of Human Resources and Administration, Mr. Cleophas Chiteka. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe at large, I'll give you the 10 culprits that are destroying finances, that are destroying your country. Now, a lot has been said about Mangoja. Let's leave it for now. Let's go to one of the directors, Innocent Mate. Okay, he's a good-looking fellow. Dr. Innocent Marche, appointed Deputy Governor, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Let's look at this guy. Okay, let's see if you can. Let me give you a picture of him. Yeah, I think you must know the people that are holding you hostage. Must know them. There he is. There, that is Dr. Innocent Marche. You never hear people talk about him. Always talk about ZANU-PF, Itim Nangakwa. These are the people that are keeping you hostage, Zimbabweans. He was appointed on October 1, 2022. Okay. You see, in Nichitose, I know, I've worked in businesses as well. I know that when people who are given power and authority, they can group together and begin to be evil and begin to do corruption together. Don't be surprised by don't be intimidated by the experience that they have. He said that the governor of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Dr. John Makocha, said in a statement on his appointment that Dr. Mashe brings in vast wealth of experience to the central bank and expect in applied stealing. No, he says in applied and policy economic analysis. Huh? Applied. I'm telling you, this guy is an expert applied policy economic analysis. With all that wisdom, they cannot stabilize an economy. They cannot stabilize the exchange rate. So what is the use? Can you tell me what is the use of keeping this guy? Why must he keep his job when he has got applied? Let me go on. Dr. Mache has previously held prominent positions including a consultant for the World Bank. Vele the fact ukuthi he worked for the World Bank means he must not work in our country. World Bank, IMF people, they are the most corrupt individuals in the world who work towards destroying small countries. And this guy was one of that cabal, this global mafia of bankers. This one. He joined the AERC, whatever that is, from the Human Science Research Council, where he was a senior research specialist. Senior specialist. Look at what Zimbabwe is. I'm tired of just allocating all the blame to Idi Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. Let's just get deeper into the details and see who really people are holding the levers of power, the economic power, and we are the ones. These are the people that we must be dealing with. He is also a former member of the Collaborative Masters Program Academic Board. I told you about these PhDs surrounding the president. They are a problem. Dr. Masha is an economist. You see, all of these things, you would think that someone like this will be in charge and the country will be stable. But no, they are the ones who are eating the country dry. He's an economist with many years university teaching and research experience in what? Microeconomics, agricultural, developmental economics, information as well as health economics. He is widely published in areas of health, markets, employment, household livelihoods, and macroeconomic policies. You would think that with all of this wealth of knowledge, this guy will be a good addition to bring Zimbabwe forward, but no, it's part of the cabal to break the bones of the people of Zimbabwe. Let's go to the next one. Another deputy governor, Dr. Jessamine. Yeah, Dr. Jessamine. There she is. It's a lady. So much for equality, rights, for women rights. There's Zimbabwe, one of your oppressors, Dr. Jessamine T. Chipika. We're tired of allocating blame to Justice ED and ZANU-PF. There it is. She is the deputy director at the bank that is stealing the value of all Zimbabweans. All right. There's not much to be found about that one. Let's move on to the next one. Tsitsi Hungwe. Tsitsi Hungwe is a director, finance director. Okay. I'm giving you names of your oppressors. Stop just focusing on ED. He's just one guy. It's a lady as well. Tsitsi Hungwe. You don't talk, people don't talk about these people that they are the ones. You can't just say Reserve Bank, the Reserve Bank. Who is there? Is people in the Reserve Bank with faces. These are the people who make decisions for the currency to fall, the big currency manipulators, so that everybody loses the value of their wealth. Everyone uses value of their wealth because of these people like Tsitsi Wongo. It's a woman for that matter. You would think that women will be in authority, they will do better things. No, they're the ones sabotaging the economy. I want to read something that was written by the Consumer Council of Zimbabwe. It's a paper that they published last year. Okay. They blame the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. I too blame the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. I think they are right. The CZI is committed to working with the government to resolve the economic ills affecting the country, such as inflation and economic instability. Okay, let's go on to where they talk about here is what we believe has gone wrong. The Dutch auction was initially implemented according to the rules of the auction, which rules were flouted, and this is evidenced by the failure of the auction to circle bids and accumulating backlogs stretching over 10 weeks periods. This means the auction was auctioneering money that was not there. Okay, so all of those reserve bank doctors with PhD, blah 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 blah, they were auctioning money which is not there. Money that's not there. Why? Because Manoda Guchka, periods of companies having bids being prorated, yet they would have submitted high rate bids, are also an indication the Dutch auction rules, who said that the highest bidders get all their allotments, were flaunted. We published and shared a paper highlighting potential pitfalls, which was a comparative analysis of auctions that have succeeded or failed. Okay, let's go down. Here they say the result of the above is that we lost near convergence position that the auction had achieved in the beginning, and trust was also lost, especially after several promises of clearing the backlog. And this is to companies that still trying to find solutions to legacy debt of yesterday year. The failure of the auction to stay on track prevented the expansion of the supply side, where holders of foreign currency did not. All right, let's go on. I want to read here. They go ahead and put 10 recommendations, okay, including the auction should be suspended until the backlog is cleared and published as such. You see, first of all, backlog is cleared. What are you auctioning? Why do you auction money that you don't have? Corruption. It's a manipulation of the currency, because you cannot auction something that is not there. Number one. Number two, you cannot uh, allocate something and then you don't provide it. So the whole so-called Dutch, you see, they use these words like a Dutch auction system, so that nobody in Zimbabwe is Dutch. Nobody knows what the hell that is. Do you know what it is? It's stealing. Let me just spare you the trouble. It is just stealing. Okay, manipulating currency, manipulating systems for the purposes of pocketing the gains of these people. John Mankuja, Dr. Jasmine Tichipika, Dr. Innocent Mashe, Mrs. Tsitsi Hongwe, Dr. Nepson Mupunga, Mr. Azwinada Sapuri, Mr. Farai Masend, Mrs. Virginia Setole, Mr. Philip T. Madam Mombe, Mr. Cleophas Chiketa. These 10 people, these are the 10 biggest culprits that nobody talks about, because nobody understands the doctor of finance, hard economic things that they are doing, you know. But whatever it is that they're doing, the result is that all of you Zimbabweans are broke and miserable. They are rich. I was seeing a video yesterday of some guy from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe explaining why they are not explaining whatever it is that they explain. This guy is fat. All of them. They are all fat. Their skin is nice. You know, they use expensive lotion when the country is suffering. It just tells you that but it's just nothing, just nonsense. They're just lying to the people of Zimbabwe. All of those people, if I become president, none of those people will ever sit any 100 meters from that Reserve Bank tower. They must loot Zokupedzisira, because they must all go. All of them, from Dr. Mankuchka to Jeziman, Mrs. I don't care, you're a doctor. I've always been saying that these PhDs surrounding the president, these PhDs in the Reserve Bank are a problem to Zimbabwe. Bafunde kakhulu. They use their education for the purposes of destroying everybody else. See, there isn't much about them online, because they're able to hide. They know how to hide. Very, 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 very smart. and they hide behind ZANU-PF, allocating all the. Here is a picture of this. This is one of the Zimbabwean looters. It's Hungwe. You see, it's a lady. It's unfortunate that we are struggling, fighting for women's rights so that they can have opportunities. But the very same women, we give them positions, then they go there and betray us. So you're going to ask me, what are you accusing them of? You can't just accuse people just because they've got jobs. Uh, what is the basis of accusing? Ha. What do you mean, what am I accusing them of? Is it not their job to stabilize the currency? The fact that the currency is not stable, number one, is what I'm accusing them of. They're not doing their job properly. Isn't that apparent? There's no evidence that I do not need, like, oh no, provide evidence. Evidence is the Zimbabwean currency, your job. Okay, Mrs. Titi Ungwe, Director of Finance, Dr. Innocent Mate, Dr. Jessamine Chipika, your job. Okay, what you are paid for. We pay you. We pay you as Zimbabweans. What you are paid for is to make sure that the currency is stable, but you're not doing it. You're the Reserve Bank. The currency must be stable. You must promote, you must reduce the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate is 96%. So, what a doctor chi, Papa, and what are you arguing? Saying that my argument is unsubstantiated. It is substantiated by the economic conditions in the country. I do not need evidence to know that you have got a secret bank account in the Canaan Islands. I don't need that. All I need is the evidence on the ground that the youth unemployment rate is 96%, the real one, not the lies that you read from the Zimbabwe statistics thing. The currency is falling. The inflation rates is one of the highest in the whole world. And Zimbabwe is just a normal country like other countries. Don't tell me about sanctions. There's many countries that are sanctioned. Their inflation rate is not where we are. Their unemployment rate is not where we are, as sanctioned as they are. So already the verdict or the evidence, executive management of the Reserve Bank, the evidence of or the basis of my accusation is based on the evidence on the ground, not on your secret dealings. We haven't gotten there. Okay, I will leave that to the FBI, to the Americans are very good at investigating financial crime around the world, and they are able to get to bring the meat to the bone, because I'm bringing the bones. Okay, and they will bring their own evidence that they have from the New York Stock Exchange, evidence from Panama Papers, Cayman Islands, on all those places where you hide money. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not accusing you of that because you're going to say he is accusing us of things that he doesn't know about. What I know about is youth unemployment. What I know about is the economic conditions that you are paid to work on. But clearly, you cannot do your job. Mr. Clophas Chiteka, I will ask you a question as the president of Zimbabwe, Mr. Clophas Chiteka, Director of Human Resources and Administration. Why must you keep your job? Mrs. Virginia Sitole, Bank Secretary and Director General Counsel, pray that I don't become president of Zimbabwe. Because I'm going to ask you, why must you keep a job? Why must you wake up in the morning and enter that building at RBZ? I'm telling you, gentlemen and ladies, all 10 of you, when I become president, none of you will ever set foot anywhere near a banking institution. I'll revoke your licenses. Don't play holy is God. You cannot play us dirty like this. You cannot carry on like this. Only. I must really cut this video now. That's enough.